Thank you, sir, for joining us. I'll request uh, I'll request DGCOI and Anil Bhardwaj, please be on stage with sir. May I request DGCOI to felicitate the minister for allowing us his precious time.
A very good morning, Dr. Pemasani Garu. It is really an honor for us to have you here today amongst us at very short notice. It was extremely short notice, but it's very kind of you to have accepted the invite to this joint event of DOT, STPI, and COI. The topic that we are discussing today is very current, and it is fortunate for us that in this hall we are discussing this in its entirety, which means we are not talking only of AI, we are also talking of the significant impact of telecom, without which AI cannot be carried, the advantages of AI cannot be carried to the masses. So without any further ado, I would request our Honorable Minister that with his vast experience and knowledge, would he be kind enough to come and address the audience? Dr. Pemasani Garu.
Thank you. Kocherji, Anil Kumarji, distinguished delegates, guests, fellow researchers, innovators, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, and namaskar to all of you. It is both an honor and pleasure to participate in this historic event. When historians write about India's 21st century transformation, they will not begin with silicon chips or software code. They will begin with the moment India made a fundamental choice that connectivity is not a luxury, connectivity is sovereignty. Telecom networks are the foundational layer on which AI is being built in India. With over 1.2 billion subscribers, our networks carry the data flows that fuel every AI application at scale, preventing downtime through predictive maintenance, optimizing spectrum dynamically in real time, and cutting energy use by up to 30% with AI-powered tower management. But let's be clear, without affordable and reliable connectivity, AI stays locked inside urban centers and research labs. That is why our priority has always been unambiguous. Connect every village, make every citizen AI ready. Our fastest 5G rollout, fiberization of more than 70% towers, and $17 billion investment in last mile initiatives like BharatNet are not just upgrades. They are instruments of nation building made possible by the bold and visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. And the numbers tell the story very well. Broadband subscribers have grown from 6 crores in 2014 to 100 crores in 2026, a staggering 1500% growth in just over a decade. AI is now reaching every rural village, not by chance, but by choice, driven by deliberate planning, supportive policy, and determined execution. India has achieved near universal population coverage with tele-density exceeding 85%. India's average mobile data consumption today exceeds 24 gigabytes per second per user per month, among the highest in the world, demonstrating both readiness and demand for AI-enabled applications. Fiber deployment has crossed 42 lakh route kilometers, enabling the high capacity backbone necessary for next generation AI workloads. These milestones are behind us. Now, the shift from coverage to capability has to take place. So, the next phase involves high capacity fiber backhaul, supporting data speeds up to 1 gigabyte per second in key areas, edge data infrastructure for localized processing, low latency networks essential for real time AI, and affordable access that allows startups to compete from day one. AI doesn't live only in distant data centers. It lives where the action is, close to homes, close to users, and close to decisions. Edge computing reduces latency to under 10 milliseconds for critical applications. With data center capacity in India growing at 20% annually, cloud platforms will provide India's scalable AI backbone. The telecom networks tie it all together as the intelligent delivery layer. International confidence in this vision is growing. If you look at it, recent Google investment in my home state, Visakhapatnam, with a $15 billion investment, shows a powerful signal. Most importantly, this kind of architecture empowers startups in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. AI agents are evolving from simple chatbots into modular problem solvers, automating customer interactions and reducing cost by 20 to 30%. According to estimates, by the end of this year, 70% of large Indian enterprises will have AI in active production. India's telecom model is rooted in two primary principles. One is affordability and second is scale. If you look at it, data costs have fallen 95% since 2014. That single fact has democratized access to technology in ways few countries have achieved. As data traffic surges with generative AI, our focus on vernacular language, AI interfaces, ensures that it is not a technology for the few, this is technology for all 1.4 billion people. As networks carry increasingly sensitive AI workloads, trust becomes the foundation of everything. We strengthen network security frameworks, enforced data protection with Digital Personal Data Protection Act, and embedded responsible AI practices at every layer. AI is also strengthening our defenses. For the first time ever, India's digital intelligence platform connects 1,200 plus organizations across every sector, creating an unprecedented, unified intelligence ecosystem that operates in real time using AI. Using this intelligence, the DOT's Astra tool, using facial recognition, has identified and disconnected over 86 lakh, 8.6 million fraudulent SIM cards. The financial fraud risk indicator, by identifying all the people through various risk categories, medium, high, and very high, and using multivariate analytics to prevent fraud, averting transactions worth 1,400 crores just in 6 to 7 months, and it is counting every day. AI-driven threat detection is now the baseline in Indian telecom. Zero trust architecture protects government systems around the clock. And for every citizen, including the commendable private players, AI is flagging millions of spam calls daily, giving people back control over their own communication. Ladies and gentlemen, India sits at unique intersection of scale, ambition, and proven delivery. Today, India ranked number 3 globally in AI competitiveness. India jumped from number 7 in prior years, driven by rapid AI deployment, digital public infrastructure like UPI, Aadhaar, and enterprise AI adoption. We are the world's second largest telecom market. We have allocated 10,000 crores for India AI mission, and we have committed 1.6 lakh crore, close to 18 billion US dollars for semiconductor investment to achieve chip manufacturing self-reliance. UPI and ONDC have shown the world what it looks like to build open, interoperable digital infrastructure. We are ready to partner globally on standards, on innovation, and on responsible AI deployment. Telecom is no longer, as you all know, just about connecting calls. It is about connecting opportunities. India's journey doesn't end at Digital Bharat. It continues toward Intelligent Bharat. We have built the infrastructure, the affordability is proven, the demand is there, and the policy environment is supportive. The only question remaining is not whether we move forward, but how fast we lead. And India's answer, especially over the last 11 years, has been the same: faster than the world expects and further than anyone imagined. Together, thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Those words of wisdom are really encouraging. I'll request DGCOI to kindly felicitate the Minister, a token of appreciation, a remembrance for joining us in this important session. Thank you, sir, for joining and encouraging all of us. I'll ask. Okay. So we'll request session 1 and session 2 participant to please join on the stage to have a photograph with the Honorable Minister. Janet, please. Yeah, thank you. We have Robert Raviji also. Yeah. A round of applause for all these people. Thank you. I'll request Anil Kumar Bhardwaji for vote of thanks for this session. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemasani ji. First of all, tell me whether all of you are related to hear him or not, and I need a big round of applause for him. You know, while we all work for the mission of and the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Narendra Modi ji, in our minister, Honorable Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji and Honorable Dr. Pemasani Chandrasekhar ji, we have two visionaries and two people who understand what it means to lead a department where tech is changing overnight. And it is your vision, sir, especially on Sanchar Sathi, which Sanjeev is seeking your guidance day in, day out. And it is your guidance which is making Department of Telecom to become take public-facing and public-centric initiatives, which are bringing laurels to us in the farthest and remotest of the villages, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation today, and we really appreciate your sparing this time and coming here for sharing these words with us, and I am sure the whole sector will benefit from your address and will take forward and execute in a way that we are able to create networks that deliver to the masses the connectivity, the benefits and the kind of things which the technology can deliver to them. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, once again. This was really encouraging for us. So as we settle now for the second session, I think so we had a very good first session. I'm expecting the second session to be equally good or maybe better off. So I'll requesting first of all the moderator for the second session, Sri Sanjeev Sharma ji, Deputy Director General, Department of Telecommunication, Ministry of Communication. Sanjeev sir has over 3 decades of senior level service in Government of India. Sanjeev Kumar Sharma blends energy engineering expertise with advanced management training. His current role as Deputy Director General at the Department of Telecom, he leads the initiative in artificial intelligence and in charge of the digital intelligence unit. What better could we have asked for? Sanjeev sir, please be on stage while we are arranging the placards, sir. Just for the audience benefit, I'll just read out the names of the participants for the second session. You will really be amazed by the kind of breadth and length of exposure we will get today. So we have Shri Rahul Vats, Chief Regulatory Officer, India and South Asia, Bharti Airtel Limited. We have Shri Ravi Gandhi ji, President and Chief Regulatory Officer, Reliance Retail and Reliance Jio. We have Ma'am Ambika Khurana, Chief Regulatory and Corporate Affairs Officer, Vodafone Idea Limited. Shri Robert Ravi ji, ITS, Chairman and Managing Director, BSNL, MTNL. And also we have with us Mr. Julian Gorman, Head APAC, GSMA. So as you can see, the next session is going to be really impressive. Sanjeev sir, may I ask you to please join us, and while the panelists are coming up. I know we had to wait for a minute, but really we have to listen to these important people. It took a little bit for rearranging the chairs, but now I think so we're ready. We have the Director General CUI, Lieutenant General Dr. S.P. Kocher also now. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sanjeev, sir, you may now take over. Thank you very much, and audience, please enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to all of you. May I request all the doors to be closed because there is a lot of noise that comes from outside. So kindly close all the doors. Thank you. So at the outset, let me welcome you all to this interesting session on AI-powered Bharat through universal digital connectivity. We have heard a lot from our minister and also from some of the panelists in the first session. And there's no doubt that artificial intelligence is changing the face of each and every sector, and telecommunication or digital communication sector is no exception to it. Over the years, we have moved from the concept of network for AI to AI for network. And I think one slide of Shyam Mardigar in the morning that beautifully captured that how earlier the digital communication infrastructure and network was being used to power AI, and now AI has come full circle to help the telecom networks to build themselves and heal themselves and maintain themselves. We will go through this journey, the journey that has moved in sync with other sectors, the journey of development of AI, right from the predictive AI and to cognitive AI, and then to generative AI, and now we are moving towards agentic AI, and the same journey is also being seen in the telecommunication networks also. So let's hear from our panelists, and we are really honored to have some of the very renowned names of the sector here sitting with me today. From the government side, we have Vikas Garg, who is Deputy Director General, looks after security policy from Department of Telecommunications. We will be getting the government perspective from him. We have a panel of representatives from telecom service provider, right from Chairman and Managing Director of BSNL, Robert Ravi sir. We have also Chief Regulatory Officers from Jio, Ravi Gandhi, Ambika Khurana from VI, and Rahul Vats from Airtel. From the association side, we are proud that we have today with us Lieutenant General SP Kochar, who will be giving us an overall perspective of what the sector needs, and Julian Gorman, who is the head of APEC for GSMA. He will give us a perspective of the global perspective as far as telcos are concerned. So let me first start with being from the government. I'll have that bias. Let me first start with Vikas Garg. And let's understand what government is trying to do with the policy initiative as far as AI and telecom is concerned. And we have seen that AI and telecom networks share a deep symbiotic connection. AI algorithms depend heavily on the availability of large data sets, fast transmission speeds, low latency, and robust security protocols, all fundamentally delivered by advanced telecommunication infrastructure. Because we'll like to know from you what role DOT is playing in ensuring that digital infra and connectivity aids the AI revolution.
Thank you, Sanjeev. So when we talk about AI has many dimensions. It starts with hardware, software in terms of algo, and the most important is the data set to train that model. It has not been like that AI never existed. On paper, on concept level, it was there for many decades. So now what has made AI a buzzword or such a thing for the future in last couple of years? It is because of the compute power we have, which is required for AI, and the most important is the data set. So with increase in bandwidth, number of subscribers, and more applications being available on digital platform, we have the required data set. And here, as a DOT officer, if I talk about the telecom, so as all earlier speaker and minister talked about, that telecom infrastructure plays the backbone of providing that bandwidth which helps in collecting the data. And number two, application part of AI. If I have developed some application on AI, how it can be available to the last person, that is also through the telecom network, internet, high-speed internet. So here I would like to highlight two particular initiatives taken by DOT. First is the Digital Bharat Nidhi Fund, which was earlier Universal Social Obligation Fund. Under USOF, the spending was restricted to providing connectivity in rural areas. But with new mandate in Digital Bharat Nidhi, the same fund can be used for providing high-speed internet in not only in rural areas, but the areas which are not connected. And DOT has undertaken a number of projects under 4G saturation or connectivity in border areas or rural areas to provide the high-speed internet. Like if I give you one example, when we talk about application of AI in agriculture, education, medical, so all these applications are made available to the user through high-speed internet only. So this provision of high-speed internet is very much crucial not only for development of AI and AI-based application, but use of those AI application to the last person. Second is the BharatNet Phase 3 project. So BharatNet project is to provide the fiber to the Gram Panchayat. Already more than 70–80% Gram Panchayat have been connected through fiber. Now in BharatNet Phase 3, in which more than 1 lakh crore rupees is being spent, all the remaining Gram Panchayats will be connected through optical fiber, and whatever Gram Panchayat have been connected through optical fiber to make it more reliable will be put in ring topology. So this is the second initiative. Both initiatives are being funded by Government of India to ensure that high-speed internet is available to each and every citizen of the country to make AI-specific applications available to him.
Thank you, Vikas. Now let's get a couple of perspective from the telecom service providers. I'll start with CMD BSNL. Sir, how is BSNL using AI today to make its network more reliable and self-healing? And what are the plans, especially for the remote areas?
Thank you, Sanjeev. I think the last few years we have been closely working on how to develop and build our network on a AI-based platform. Fortunately for us, in the 4G, with the help of TCS, we have built what we have, one of the world's first AI-driven cognitive network management system. We are slowly building it, we're adding SON to it, and then see can we do complete network optimization and self-healing happening in the network. To put it in broad perspective, today, in BSNL, we are trying to see that AI we are trying to use in 3 major areas. One is in the networks management per se. Next is on the customer satisfaction experience. And third is a very interesting option of mixing both and bringing in what we have a AI churn. Just examining how do we reduce churn in our network. Now for this, what we have done is, apart from using the standard LLMs, we are also had an in-house system where we are building small SLM models, specifically for compliance, where we automatically see where the network is bad, where the most prominent problem is occurring. And then with the help of SON and ASON, self-healing network, we are even trying to develop an environment where I can automatically create an environment all maybe an antenna tilt and then ensure the customer satisfaction index increases. So that's one side which we are trying to do. On the customer experience side, we have launched 3 key areas. We called it as one of the Vani, AI Vani, BSNL Vani, and then we have the hologram, and we had the metaverse environment. All 3 is doing very well, and today we are proud to say that we have launched what we have, the BSNL BREX, a automatic recharge expert which works with the internet, which can automatically sense what this customer plan wants and then predicts, and it can suggest ways of it. So AI is slowly becoming what we see the fabric of BSNL network going forward?
That's very interesting, sir. And so, Indian networks, Indian telecom equipments, we have all heard on the left-hand side, as well as on my right-hand side, both BSNL and Jio have been inducting Indian telecom equipment. It's also good to know that even the network management systems are being, that are indigenous, are being AI driven. My next question is to Ravi Gandhi. There's a lot of buzzword about Jio's initiative like Jio Brain and AI data centers. How is Jio using the artificial intelligence in its networks and in service delivery?
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I think previous speakers, including Shyam, have spoken about how we use AI in our network, I think, but probably more important and more relevant is apart from using the AI in our network, what is the role of network in delivering AI? That's also extremely important, that why as a telecom company or a telecom operator should be concerned about AI. What is so special about it? I tried to write down few points. Let me read out. Artificial intelligence is fundamentally dependent upon connectivity. So why? AI system requires to connect which is basically data exchange between users, devices, cloud, or computing infrastructure. So that's where it makes extremely important that the network plays a very important role in delivery of AI services. So whether it is AI run, say, data flows, or cloud-based AI, or edge computing, or IoT integration, whether it is collaborative or productivity AI, or scalable innovations, all would require extremely good connectivity for AI to be delivered in a reliable and scalable way. So what I believe is that without robust telecom connectivity, all AI remains fragmented, slow, and unreliable. Connectivity is the main nervous system of AI delivery, wherein I think probably the role of telecom operator comes in. And that's where we are working towards it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Now let's bring in association perspective first. And my next question is to Lieutenant General SP Kochers. With the growth of AI, and we all know that India has leapfrogged as a digital economy, there's also cyber frauds that are growing. And we are learning day by day that AI is now being used in these frauds. Techniques like deepfake and other AI-enabled cyber frauds have become a real threat. So as the industry body, what common AI building blocks and trust frameworks do you want all Indian operators to adopt for fraud prevention, privacy, and grievance redressal is my question to you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. That is a very wide question, and I thank you for the question. You rightly brought out that whenever a new technology comes in, the lawmakers use it in a positive manner, but there are others on the other side who use it in a negative manner, but much faster, because they are not constrained by laws, they are not constrained by time. So they use it the way they want to, and especially when the technology is cheap, the advantage accrues to the lawbreaker. Lawmakers generally keep following the lawbreaker. So this is a recognized fact of life. Now, in the environment that is prevailing, there are three actors. One is technology, which everybody has been talking about. The second is policy and regulation. And the third is the people themselves who are serviced by technology and who derive benefit out of technology. We have to look at this holistically, all three of them. Not that we look at only at technology and forget the other two. Okay. Coming to technology, AI will give us patterns, AI will give us answers to many questions about frauds, likely frauds, but unless it is validated by all the systems. Now let me tell you what I'm saying, that TSPs can at best draw out patterns, statistical patterns, calling rates, various other things which each one of them is doing on their own. And they will say that this is a suspected fraud. And they warn the people. Now take it from warning to disconnecting. There's a gap. Now by just getting the patterns, it is not imperative that disconnection is warranted. Because there are many legal services which have patterns which will look like fraud but are not actually fraud. And that will result in a lot of litigation, a lot of hue and cry. So what is required is that other data collecting agencies in the government, in private, whether it is banks or it is police or anybody else, they share their databases technically and then come to a conclusion that what you have brought out from your networks is validated by us as fraud. And that is the time when, yes, disconnection may be warranted technically. But whatever we do, we have to do within the ambit of the land's laws. You can't violate the laws, and not this applies to everybody, whether it is Indian data producer or it is OTT or anybody else. If they are operating in India, the same laws should apply to them and the same penalties should apply to them. And the third is people. Now, despite the TSPs having taken that, despite the DOT having taken, despite TRA having taken so many initiatives and informing us as users that this is a likely fraud, we yet fall into their trap. And why do we fall into their trap? Because of inquisitiveness or because of greed. These are two things from the subscriber. We have to address this also. So this is something, it has to be a total package. And please remember, the system is as secure as the weakest point. And if any part of this is weak, then we don't have a secure system at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kocha Sahab. Fear and greed, you're right. They drive the scam. So moving from scam to the spam. My next question is to Rahul Watts, CRO, Bharti Airtel. Airtel has been using AI for unified 4G, 5G management and large-scale spam detection. And I've personally seen that, and I request all of you also. They have put their stall downstairs where this has been put on display also. So tell us, Rahul, what are these initiatives and what is the next frontier for AI-driven customer protection on your network?
Thank you, sir. All what we have achieved, I think, over last 12 to 18 months is also with collaboration and guidance from you, I'll be very frank. Let me also try to say that for us, AI is really at the core of what we are trying to do. And we have tried to build 3 or 4 major pillars on which we are trying to work. Of course, the first pillar for us is consumer, and how does the consumer stay protected at all the times is one large area. Second big area for us is, of course, network optimization. How do we use AI to really build our networks more powerful, more energy efficient, and how do we really provide that benefit to the customer? Third area or third pillar for us in using AI has been more about operational efficiencies. How do I make the life of my field engineer easier? How do I make the CRO sitting in my customer office where the customer comes easier? That's operational efficiency. And fourth, most importantly for us, how do we create a differentiation for the customer using AI? For example, can I offer customized product offering even as the customer is talking to my customer field agent? And I'm proud to say that all these 4 differentiators are available at the Airtel stall when you go and visit. All of this is actual live in progress, not any hypothesis which we are talking about. I think Robert sir talked about using AI in networks. Definitely, I think we've got Pioneer sitting here, Sham is sitting here. We are using AI and so on for some time now. I've been self-healing and optimizing networks. It has helped us to reduce congestion, reduce the call drops. The handover algorithms are getting smarter and smarter as we try to do, and helping us in also doing a better traffic steering, so as to say, as we move ahead. The other big part is about energy efficiency. How do we really see the patterns over last 6 months or 1 year and can we switch off, our transceivers to say that we can be efficient of how we are using this. This world is a place where we need to go green as far as possible. So that's one big effort. And again, here we have seen nearly 3 to 4% drop in energy consumption, over a period of time. Spam, I think, so you already mentioned about it, but I'll just give large numbers. So 71 billion, suspected spams tagged, nearly 9 billion SMSs tagged, more than 800,000, links which have been blocked by us. And most recently, only last week, we have launched our new fraud detection protocol, where we have created a friction. You see, one of the problems on spam is the urgency with which the spammer tries to create in your heart and mind. Right? Jaldi kariye, apna OTP share kariye. Right? That is what we have tried to address in this particular thing, where if you are on a call, we will send a message to you instead of sending the OTP. This creates a little bit of friction because you now know that this could be a spammer calling you and trying to take your OTP. So this is the frontier. We have got a large charter in place for what we want to do. But the 4 pillars I mentioned about is how we'll be guided by. And I repeat the pillars for myself and for everybody. Consumer protection, differentiation to the customer, making energy efficient and helping our networks. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. My next question is to Ambika Khurana, CRO of Voda Idea. We have all in the first session heard about how generative AI is being used. We heard about digital twins, AI-driven big data platforms. In your opinion, how these tools are going to shape the telcos, and is VI also using any of these capabilities?
Thank you, Sanjeev sir. Good afternoon, everyone. That's a very interesting question, and I think some of my previous speakers have already spoken about various critical dimensions around which AI is deployed extensively around networks. So one is, of course, in network planning. Second is in terms of optimization of business and resources. Third pillar around consumer convenience and ease, not just consumer interaction, but consumer trust and safety in terms of spam protection as well. Another important dimension that we focus on as we business is on empowering the enterprises and clients we work with so that they are further empowered to provide the best services and solutions to their customers. Through various areas like an AI Innovation Hub where we've partnered with IBM, this partnership with HCL, this partnership with TCS Hubs and TCS TwinX, multiple solutions through which various enterprise clients are also empowered through sales IQ, operations IQ, service IQ, and multiple pillars and products which can really empower them. So your question was also around the digital twin, wherein there is a lot of predictive, exciting work happening to see how a comprehensive digital twin architecture can actually mirror the real infrastructure on the ground. So what is it that we can do in a proactive, preventive basis to plan better, operationalize better, save critical OpEx, and be able to offer faster outcomes to our consumers. So a lot of pre-deployment interventions, and I'm just going to read out a couple of statistics in terms of impact, in terms of what this twin is trying to do. 71% faster rollout through pre-validated deployments, 33% reduction in downtime, 36% faster testing cycles, which all under simulated conditions, we are able to predict, plan, optimize, and operationalize the networks better. So a lot of exciting work on all these fronts. But yes, one is, of course, what we do as enterprises. And two, the second part is how do we take that advantage to our consumers, not just retail, but enterprises. So there's a twin-pronged approach to harness that and optimize that.
Thank you, Ambika. And now from the Indian perspective, let's move towards the global perspective. And my question is to Julian. Julian, GSMA tracks adoption of AI across telcos, and you have documented them in the GSMA Foundry and AI use case library also. So how, in your opinion, AI can help telcos, especially in rural and low ARPU markets like India? We'd like to know more from you on that.
Sure, thanks for that. I mean, AI, I think there's been some mentions before by the operators that has a great opportunity to increase efficiencies in the operators, whether that's from routing the traffic, efficient spectrum usage, or to increase or improve the customer experience, lowering the cost by making customer care perhaps AI-driven, so reducing costs. That allows operators to reduce costs. But I think a big opportunity that when we look forward is the potential for operator or for mobile networks to carry traffic in tokens as well, which will introduce another layer of efficiency, and that again brings down the cost of operations for mobile operators. On top of that, there is obviously AI as an interface to users. Our biggest challenge around the world is closing the usage gap. And that is the people who are covered by mobile broadband but are not using it for some reason. And while barriers of cost do exist, device and service costs, AI helps networks costs come down, so the cost of service will come down. But actually, AI also introduces opportunities to bypass skill or reduce the barriers of skills or the obstacles of how you interface with the internet. Overcoming literacy barriers, not only digital but also language, and providing alternative ways for customers to interface with being online. I think that is probably the greatest opportunity we see for consumers in rural areas. Of course, AI then provides that opportunity for operators to expand new services through interfacing for new services for agriculture, for other sectors in rural areas. And I think they present the opportunity that we're still to really explore. And obviously India is a big lighthouse for that, not only for the India market, but for the rest of low middle income countries to follow in the 5G world. And if you look at Asia Pacific, most of Asia Pacific's countries from a population point of view are only just setting out on the journey that India started a couple of years ago and is leading the way. I think one of the things that, of course, we need to look out for is maintaining digital trust. AI has helped, let's say, the scamming industry as much as it helps mobile operators. Scams have been around forever, but digital transformation has helped accelerate the addressable market of scams, and AI helps scammers bridge that physical trust elements, a video call or other voice call, other ways that we physically determine trust. AI helps scammers overcome those or bridge those issues, and that's going to introduce risk to digital trust, and that's where we need to work together collectively as an ecosystem, not just around digital skills, but also making sure that we are keeping ahead of the scammers in our adoption of AI and services to preserve that digital trust.
Thank you, Julian. In fact, since we look after the policy in the telecom sector, for AI policy in the telecom sector, we follow your AI foundry and all the use cases very closely. And ironically, I have seen a lot of case studies there, but none from the Indian telcos is figuring yet there. So all of them are sitting here and also telling that they have got some very good use cases. So I would request that those case studies should also go there in the GSMA library. Coming back to the policy, to DOT, Vikas, my question to you is that what in your opinion are the important policy area that the government should be focusing for a better AI-powered Bharat?
I think quite question with quite a larger context. So coming back to development of AI, so what I feel that any technology is not an objective. It is means to achieve some objective. And when we talk of AI, for a country like India of our size and diversity, we have the required data set. So starting with hardware, we have seen, we need to work on the complete ecosystem. It has to be multifaceted approach. So we have seen how the government has been working on semiconductor and the hardware. Software, we are already good in software. Now it comes to data set, because for AI, what I said during my first question, that data set. So to give you the context, say you take the example of Tesla. So Tesla's market share as an automobile company is hardly 1/5 of the world's largest automobile company, that is Toyota. But if you take the market valuation, the Tesla's market valuation is 5 times that of Toyota. So it is because Tesla has that data set. So it is, when we talk of the AI is all about data, because the basic software of AI is nothing in itself. It is only with the training on a data set, it becomes AI. So, and I think the government, the DPDP Act is a right start at right time regarding that availability of that data. Similarly, when we talk of the application, so to make the AI-based application available to user, we are already, as a DOT, we are already working on providing high-speed internet. And AI can also help in bridging this urban-rural gap by making all the services, be it governance, be it healthcare, be it education, available to each and every citizen. Last part, that no technology without commercial viability survives. So when it comes to AI, now we are going through a time where we are talking about the development of AI, use case of AI. We have to see the commercial viability of AI also. So for that, I think government need to provide support, and as DOT, we are already working on that. DOT has set up a TTDF, Telecom Technology Development Fund, whereas it is supporting startups working in the field of telecom as well as AI for telecom to so that we can work on AI. So it is about hardware, it is about software, it is about data, then developing the ecosystem, startups, and then application part. And I think government is doing fairly good on that.
Thank you, Vikas. Indeed, there are certain policy initiatives that can help, and providing data is one of them. How do you use the data? Because AI is all about how you train your models on the data. Funding is another part, and a lot of efforts are going on in that directions, and thank you for updating on that. My next question is to Robert Ravi, sir. Sir, Vikas also talked about BharatNet project, and that is a primary vehicle for improving connectivity in the rural and the remote areas. Is BSNL, it would be interesting to know whether the BSNL is working on any AI use cases around BharatNet project or in rural areas in specific.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I think that's a very, very important question because moving towards the rural environment, we need to see that how the AI benefits also moves to the rural. We are looking at two different aspects when we go on towards the rural side. One is, the fiber which we are laying as part of the Bharat, taking it to the remotest corners, maybe the GPs or the villages. Fortunately, we are now having the remote fiber monitoring system also, which automatically even detects if a fiber cut is there. We wanted to see if we can leverage this, put an AI platform, then we can have a predictive maintenance stuff coming in place, which will be able to prevent even before the outage of services happens, can we not correct it? That's one area which we are looking at. We have put down together what we call AI rural business solutions. How effectively can we bring in the real effects of the AI in terms of one is the use case and the actual use of it. That's why we call it as AI rural business solution. In two phases, as well as the use case is concerned, as we all know that we have been, even DOT, we have been pushing a lot on developing smart villages. These smart villages comes into picture which actually turns the way the society is going to work, the villages is going to perform, new enterprises are going to come. Particularly in that field, what we are trying to see is these GPs or the village centers where our routers and our servers is going to act, can we convert them as some sort of a edge data centers, edge computing come into place? And then we can ride over this RF, whatever predictive analysis, so that any use case application that uplifts a village, a smartness in the village is directly linked to it. For this, what we have done, as we all know, that data is actually the engine for which drives AI. But the other part of it is privacy. To balance both, people are now coming out what we have the federated learning, which means the data will be with you, but the model will be at a different place, and I do only a federated learning which runs on the AI. These aspects will be greatly useful in BharatNet when we have the edge connected on our own sources. So we are actually going to help in what we can even see today, what do we say, complete digital twin architecture of a particular village, which we have actually done a smart village, which Atul is doing, one of our from DOT, where we can even see visually what is happening on a digital sphere and what needs to be taken. So for example, there's going to be a flood. If the flood, what are going to be the effects of the flood? The exact replica of what happened in the UK flood system, we can exactly replicate today in an AI environment. This not only in urban, we can even take it to the rural, because the connectivity, everything is there, and we are building a layer over it. That's what I think the future is going to be, Sanjeev.
Thank you, Robert Ravi, sir. Very interesting concepts, just not predictive maintenance, but moving right into digital twin of smart village. That's a very interesting concept. My next question is to Ravi Gandhi. It's not only important that we adopt our AI in the Indian context, but it's also important to build partnerships so that we not only get the best from the world, but also are able to deliver to the world. So how, in your opinion, the policies and partnership for Indian telcos can leverage new opportunities in this artificial intelligence sector?
Thank you. I think it's very important that we not only adopt, but we also contribute to the world. But for contributing to the world, we also have to ensure that we first create AI for all in India. When I say AI for all means all, 140 crore people in India, whether they have the access to AI or not, I think it's a fundamental question. And as telecom operator, our job is to take AI to every individual in the country. So my previous speaker talked about BharatNet and role of BharatNet. Just imagine after, say, few years when complete BharatNet is done and the networks have completely saturated with 5G and 6G coming in, what kind of network we will have? How will we be providing AI to every individual? So we may have a fixed line connectivity in the rural area, but no fixed line connectivity in the urban area. Today, the fixed line connectivity overall is around 3.5%, which is least in the world. And for AI, so that would be the kind of situation, because the moment we talk about fixed line connectivity, immediately we start thinking about BharatNet. But BharatNet is not meant for that. BharatNet is only connecting rural areas. What about urban areas? What about every individual who wants to experience AI? So if we have to actually lead in AI, which can be then exported outside, we have to first demonstrate that AI in India. And why, I'll take 2 minutes to just explain why it is so important to have a fixed line connectivity in every home to deliver AI. First is the high bandwidth applications like video analytics, cloud processing, real-time collaboration, which requires gigabit kind of a system. The second, which is very important, is low latency applications. So while mobile may provide connectivity, mobile broadband may provide reach, but it may not be able to provide the latency, minimal latency, or which is typically supported by fiber. Then another thing in AI is once the computing moves to the edge, then the traffic also tends to become symmetric. So which is not a characteristic of mobile networks. So wherein the fiber network would play an extremely important role to have the symmetric speed, upload and download speed. Then of course stability and reliability, which is extremely important, and future readiness. So if you combine all these things, then while the telecommunication enables AI, reach of AI to everyone, but the fiber would actually provide AI with performance, scale, and reliability. That's where we feel that we are putting all our efforts in that direction, that we make India as a AI-ready telecommunication network country, not just having some few AI platforms which helps in optimizing our network or finding out spams, filtering, and all those things, which obviously we are doing. We have a network which is completely self-optimized based upon AI. We have spam filters which are working. But all that is application of AI within our networks to better our network. But the more important is that how do we actually take AI to every individual? That is very important, as I think policy makers with Department of Telecommunication and all of us sitting here, we have to see in next 2 years whether we will be able to provide the connectivity to every individual who can then have low latency, high speed, symmetric bandwidth, have very reliable bandwidth for every individual, which can be utilized for AI. Thank you.
Yeah, very well articulated, Ravi. That's where the universal digital connectivity comes into play, not only through 5G plus, but also through the optical fibers, where we reach to the last mile, so that each and every citizen can be benefited by the adoption of technology. AI has become synonymous to a fast-changing world. We hear today something about, we were discussing generative AI, and till the time you start learning what actually is generative AI, then somebody comes out and says that, you know, it's, hi, that's already a past. Agentic AI is the new thing. So in this scenario, skilling is very, very important, and I like to ask Lieutenant General Kocher, where do you see the biggest skilling gaps for an AI-powered Telecom Bharat, and what joint industry government initiatives are needed to close them quickly?
Thank you, Sanjeev. You've taken me back to my previous job. Thank you for that. Skilling is important, undoubtedly, because if you have to run a machine, you have to have skilled manpower, and if the skinware is not proper, no matter what software, hardware you have, it doesn't work. So now what is happening is the industry and government have partnered in the last about 2 decades to set up joint venture skilling centers. And they have asked the industry what they want, but it has not taken off. Why it has not taken off is because we were skilling standalone, and we were skilling blue-collar workers, grassroots level. Now with AI coming in, that problem becomes exacerbated, and we will have to go lift the level. The demand now will be not on so much blue-collar workers. Their repetitive jobs will be taken over by AI, let there be no doubt. So where will they go? They will have to be upskilled. They will have to be upskilled into a new category where they can manipulate AI, where they can derive benefits out of AI, not necessarily program AI, but they will know how to use AI for the betterment of the company or the organization that they serve. Second category of the people are the lower-end white-collar workers who are also into repetitive tasks. They will also lose their jobs, and they will have to be reskilled in the same category of what I said, the upper-collar, blue-collar workers will come. So I am calling this category as a no-collar category, which will draw benefits from both blue-collar as well as white-collar and come out with a workforce which manipulates AI. But this is not sufficient. We will also require data scientists, we will require data analysts at the higher levels, and that is where we will require fresh entrants. And it will have to be as per the requirements given by the industry, as per the assessments of the training being done by the industry, and not in a standalone manner. No industry will be able to fund such ventures, so it has to be government assisted, like NSDC has been doing. But then outcomes will have to be very important without the red tapeism and without the strings attached. So this is what I see. If this happens, India will become a skill capital of the world for AI, no doubt about that.
Yeah, very rightly said, and I fully agree that skilling as far as AI is concerned has to be a joint industry government initiative. My next question is to Rahul Watts. Rahul, Airtel has been leveraging AI Plus, which is a developer software and tool, and also cloud partnerships to build inclusive solutions for small businesses and individuals across Bharat. There's a lot of buzz going around agentic AI, where now several telcos have started adopting goal-based agentic AI that, just you can give a command that, an event is to happen at Bharat Mandapam, plan the network accordingly or modify the network accordingly to cater to the needs of, say, 1 lakh people. So that's basically just you give a goal and then agent starts working on it. How is Airtel planning to use and leverage all these AI plus developer cloud partnerships and agentic AI going forward?
Thank you, sir, for this question. First of all, yes, I think the tools are increasingly now available, which are amazing tools, actually. Just last weekend, just sharing on a lighter side, I was out for a walk in the Lodi Gardens, and before I went out, I put a command on the new Claude, which has come. I asked it for certain, things, and I came back, and it was amazing the amount of work which had already been done, in the command which was given to it. I mean, that's a lot of work you'll not be able to perhaps do over a period of time. So it is really a very amazing situation on an individual customer level. But let me talk about our customers and talk about our businesses. What's the defining thing for us is that we really want to take AI in a democratic way to all and every single customers we have. So whether it was the launch, of Perplexity Pro, to all Airtel customers, whether it is Adobe Express, which we have just, recently launched, we really want everybody to really experience the power of AI to a new level. So whether you are a writer, whether you are an experienced user, whether you want to understand something, whether you want to gain knowledge, this power which the customer now gets is really amazing in terms of how we do it. Going on from an individual customer, let's try to move on to small scale enterprises and medium scale enterprises, and what is it that I can try and do for them. So what we have worked out there is a plethora of AI tools which have been made available to the customers to use the AI and ML technologies to really simplify and protect them and protect their assets and businesses. So we have got something called like a cloud WAP, we called, which is basically like a cloud web application and API protection, which we are giving. Using our security interfaces, we are able to today touch nearly 90,000 devices overall. We are able to touch, at least 12,000 customers, and we are able to protect them from any day-to-day malware or harms which may be impacting their businesses. Again, this is all, AI-driven technology. We already talked about how we are trying to use it in terms of our networks. Let me try and cover the aspect about agentic AI, since you asked about that. And I'm happy to share that agentic AI is exactly in work at our stall if you go down today at the Airtel stall. What are we showing? We are showing a customer walks into my, customer relationship center. And based on his consent and when we are interacting with the customer, even as we are interacting, my AI is able to, throw what sort of plans are most likely applicable for this customer. Is he a high data consumer? Is he a consumer who wants different applications? And within a plethora of like milliseconds, at the screen of the CRO, we are able to depict multiple plans coming across, for differentiating the product to the customer. Similar is the tool for, let's say Ravi talked about the need for the Wi-Fi at home and the amount of demand which is surging if you see on both these sectors. Call centers are getting flooded because customers want to know more, or they want to, get the correct sort of interfaces for understanding. So if you see some of the tools which we have put out there using AI, suppose a field engineer goes and visits the home, right? Now the AI is able to guide the person inside the home what exactly should be the spot you should be putting your device. The field engineer is supposed to click that photograph where he's doing the wiring and putting a box, because my AI is able to tell him you're going wrong. right? This is not the correct wiring you should be doing. And why AI out here? Because earlier the field engineer could have just clicked any photograph or used the existing photograph in his phone to show to me that I have done this work. But AI is able to detect. It has to be a liveliness check, as we do in a KYC, for example, to say that actually you have put the right amount of wiring inside your home. So that's agentic AI. Call centers, for example, you'll be amazed. We have experimented now. The AI used in our call centers are not only able to handle complaints of the customers, they are actually able to cross-sell to the customer also. Right? This is amazing. Imagine a situation where you are not able to just solve the problem on the fly, but actually you are actually being able to offer a solution of what the person should be buying or what his choices might be. So agentic AI is really at work. I think energy consumption still remains a large area. And my colleague just corrected me, it is not 3 to 4%, at least 5 to 7% energy saving, which we have had over a period of time. So I think it's really, really empowering and really interesting times ahead.
Really interesting to know all that. And I was just wondering when you were speaking that so many AI-based use cases and solutions have been put by Indian telcos, and globally also the telcos are putting those solutions. Is there a scope, and just a food for thought for GSMA, is there a scope for coming out where these solutions you take forms of agents? Say, for example, your Airtel's scam protection or spam protection solution can be offered as an agent to any of the telcos, and then for that probably GSMA needs to have just like we have a 2A protocol or MCP protocol where the agents talk to each other, where a T2T, a telecom to telecom protocol, where you talk to each other and you negotiate the rates and use the agent. There's no need for every telco to reinvent the wheel. So maybe your thoughts on that. It's just what came to my mind just now.
Well, I think it's a very good point you raise. To combat scams, as an example, no single person really has the answer. It's about ecosystem working together. And one thing I like to highlight is regulation will never keep pace with scam innovation. Scammers, as General Kocher pointed out before, scammers are not bound by laws, not bound by geography, and not bound by the principles that the people on this stage subscribe to. Being able to do regulation at the speed that scammers can innovate is not possible. What we need to do is unlock the mobile operator innovation, the ecosystem innovation, and collaboration. So that means providing the opportunity for operators to be, or even the incentives for operators to innovate, which means it has to be in a sustainable way. Imposing regulation on operators to continue to just provide data or provide insights for sharing actually is a compliance. Actually, we need to move to sustainable innovation where operators are part of an ecosystem who is collaborating together to share information so that not any single person has to do it alone, but they're learning from each other. And that's using AI as well. GSMA is currently running a Foundry project in Southeast Asia, proof of concept, where we're trying to establish the opportunity for a single point of aggregation of mobile operator data to help inform the ecosystem about potential risks. And that's mobile operators looking at their data to identify traffic profiles or customer account profiles that suggest risk of scam. Now, it is proving an incredible mountain to climb because privacy laws, regulation, and to be honest, even mobile operator perception is against doing this. And the idea of, in a physical world, you can be a good Samaritan. You can see something bad happening on the street and you can act. Actually, in the digital world, perception of not being able to use data, which may be permitted, but the perception that you can't use data, and then also, actually, there is limits about what you can do with data, with sharing, actually makes it very hard to have the idea of a digital good Samaritan. Because mobile operators could see things on the network, but actually we've spent 30 years of doggedly not using customer data for anything other than billing. But the POC in Southeast Asia, we are making progress, and we certainly do hope to be something that we can share with India and other markets, because we see lots of great things are happening here. AI, services to protect consumers, spam, scam, are all good positive steps. But actually, even a country cannot operate in isolation, because scammers will go to the lowest point, to the cheapest business model. And the one thing that India has done very good with digital public infrastructure and things like that is they've made the cost of business very low for digital. And so actually we need to work together to make sure we're protecting that digital public infrastructure with operator information, SIM swap, things like that. So building AI and scam protection into that digital public infrastructure, but also sharing information across the industry and across borders so that we're combating scam globally. I mean, I live in Indonesia, and last week the police raided 2 villas not far from my home, full of Indian nationals scamming Indians with gambling and other sites. I mean, they are not bound by geography. They are not bound by laws. They are enabled by the great digital transformation that India and other countries have led. So we need to work together. And the point you raised there of how do we work together, we're trying. And we look to regulators and policymakers to also be part of that ecosystem and understand, actually, we need to try and activate innovation. And if a mobile operator's license is at risk by trying something, trying to be a good Samaritan, actually, it's just preventing the industry working together. And so we need to work together to solve those problems.
Thank you, Julian, and thank you for taking that one that was just out of a blue, and it came to my mind, and I had thrown it on to you, and you caught the ball. Thank you. And so my last question is to Ambika. Ambika, telcos have been using AI, and some of the telcos actually have used the AI first on the consumer interface side rather than on the telecom network side. So basically, almost now all telcos, if you look around the world, on the consumer interface to service the consumer, they're using AI. How is VI leveraging this for consumer service delivery?
Thank you very much. I'll just also respond to what Julian just spoke about spam, and General Kocher spoke about how the scamsters are getting ahead of the curve. I think what's super important is also to leverage AI when we roll out our digital literacy programs, and that's where government-industry partnerships can play a pretty critical role. So as an example, at Vodafone Idea, we have a very strong financial literacy program called Jadugini Ka, running for over 10 years across 10 plus states, covered 2 crore plus people. What we've done over the last couple of years is included specific modules on how to prevent and protect yourself from spams and scam. And last couple of quarters, we've deployed AI extensively for these outreach programs so that they can be communicated in vernacular languages, they're more adaptable, and more people, when the vans and the teams visit Gully Gully and they visit Kona and Nukkad of every village of our country, they're able to communicate to people that this is how you are vulnerable and this is how you need to protect yourself. So AI, not just for networks, not just to help augment our top line and bottom line, but also to strengthen our consumer protection interventions right at a grassroots level, is something which can actually be replicated. And I'm happy to share those learnings with GSMA if they want to share them further. So that's part one. The second part was in terms of actual consumer interaction. And I think a lot has been spoken about call centers, right? Where we've actually seen quantum leap, quantitative impact in terms of deploying AI, in terms of reduction of calls, in terms of faster IVR addressal of complaints that have been coming in terms of 99% accuracy, 100% efficiency augmentation, and also in terms of very, very critical AI-enabled chatbots, human voice chatbots, email chatbots, which can actually crunch and process a very high quantum of hundreds and lakhs of complaints on a daily basis. So all that, I think, is pretty much BAU and continues with investment. A very interesting, different use case is around Travel Pass. So we launched Travel Pass in partnership for people to travel across 124 plus countries all over the world. And when people travel, it is amazing to see the quantum of forged documents that come up. right? And the inspection processing was leading to very high turnaround times of processing, which of course is unwieldy because there are strict timelines that you want to return back and reply to the consumer with. So mass scale AI deployment in terms of analysis, verification checks, authentication mechanisms have reduced turnaround times by 95% plus, made the documentation more seamless, more cost effective, and of course, very consumer friendly. So scam has already been spoken about. Even the suspected scam SMSs and calls which were launched run through and filter on hundreds of metrics to see what are the numbers that really need to be flagged to empower and make a consumer more aware. So multiple use cases for protecting the consumer, multiple use cases for empowering the consumer and ensuring that he or she has a more seamless experience on the network, and of course to increase efficiency as subscribers continue to communicate.
Thank you, Ambika. And we just crossed the time limit of 1 p.m., but I'll still invite a couple of questions, max 2 questions, if from the audience. So if anybody is interested, so please, you can, can we give a mic? So apart from stating the question, also please tell to whom the question is directed to so that it is easier for...
My name is Umang Das and I represent the Broadband India Forum. My question was related to the fact that we are accelerating the proliferation of AI one and all. So that's a very fair objective. But as we move around, we also hear a lot of concerns about job losses. AI's advent will impact jobs, and we are hearing quite a bit in the international world also. So as we proliferate and as we go ahead with the AI program, which is obviously going to have some impact on jobs, at the same time, a whole lot of new opportunities will come up. And those opportunities from jobs can lead towards actually more and more entrepreneurship. And along and accompanied with entrepreneurship will be the need for people to understand it and absorb it at the same speed at which we are trying to build up the AI proliferation in the country. So from that point of view, setting up more and more demo centers, because seeing is believing, setting up more and more programs of this type across, taking the major aspect of agriculture, for example, a sector which represents over 70% of the country, opportunities.
Yeah, so
and they have half-time jobs. So some comments around that would be very helpful.
Skilling and reskilling would be an important aspect to that.
Part of that
so
process.
Is there a particular question or is just a comment that you observation you wanted to make, Dasa? Is there a particular question around it also?
So my question really is that are we planning a specific program of how the AI proliferation can be implemented on the ground at the same speed in terms of building up what are the opportunities? Generally, we call it AI labs, AI centers of excellence, focusing on different states, particularly the BharatNet program is going into the rural areas. It has a mix with agriculture. How can we set up more and more government-sponsored programs of that type, which goes in parallel with the technical aspect of rolling out the infrastructure?
Okay.
Mr. Robert Ravi, if he would like to look at it.
I think Sanjeev has already told. I think skilling is a very important part. Apart from BSNL, we have already started up an AI BSNL Academy. It's an online platform available, specifically targeting, as I mentioned, the AI rural business area. It's a wide platform. It's an online platform which we have started. Similar initiatives, I'm sure each telcos will come up with ideas that is going to help in really understanding and proliferating this.
So anyone else would like a question? Yeah.
The edge is getting more stronger, it's getting more powerful, and some of the decisions will have to be made on board. So one of the sound bites I heard, I'll give this question to anybody maybe who's an operator. One of the sound bites I heard is that the traffic will become symmetrical. Do you truly believe that the traffic will become symmetric?
Yes, I think it is. The early trend shows that. Because once the computing sits at edge, there would be a lot of interaction between the user and the edge. which will make the traffic moving towards symmetric. Obviously, it will not become completely symmetric, but the upload portion of the traffic will increase with AI.
So I think we should wrap it up now. I would take this opportunity to thank all the panelists. We have heard you and your views on this AI, which are really helpful. I think the audience would always also be enthused to hear all the views and would have learned from that. I now hand over this to the...
Yeah, thank you, Sanjeev sir. Obviously, as you mentioned, the audience has a fulfilling and informative session. It was good listening to all the speakers on panelists here. I'll request now DGCOI, Dr. Kocher, Lieutenant General Dr. Kocher, to please felicitate the panelists. We can start from Vikas sir. Vikas sir. We'll have a group photograph after this, so kindly be on the stage. Thank you, Vikas sir, for your insightful and the policy aspect from the government side. I request Ambika Khurana, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, from sharing the insights of Vodafone Idea Limited. Thank you. I request Robert Ravi, sir. He brings a lot of... Thank you, Robert Ravi, sir. I request Sanjeev, sir. And yes, he had that added workload of being the moderator. He stitched the complete panel together. Thank you, sir. Ravi Gandhi, sir. Thank you, Ravi, sir, for joining us. Unfortunately, we have Rahul, sir, already left, I think so. So we request Julian, sir, to please. And I have the opportunity to request Anil Kumar Bhardwaj ji, if you can come on stage, sir. Sir, in the first panel you were there, so we'll request DG sir to felicitate you, sir. And really, he's the man behind the entire show. Good round of applause for him. He single-handedly put this together. Sir, I'll request DG's STPI, please be on stage, sir. I will request DG sir to please felicitate. And yes, we thank STPI for bringing this platform for India, showcasing India to the world. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, we'll request for a photograph. One final, sir. Anil sir, we would request. Anil sir will request to felicitate Colonel Coach, General Kocher, please. A good round of applause for everyone. Thank you. This was really informative, and as per the theme of the session, AI powered Bharat through universal digital connectivity.
Please be seated. I would now request Lieutenant General Kocher to felicitate the Master of Ceremony today, Dhananjay sir. I would also request General Kocher to felicitate Supratik. Supratik, please come on stage. Thank you.